Good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon, and good other figs, potential Martians who are watching this. This is another session in the Living World of Darkness Mage venue. Mage, Mage from the ashes. And this time, we, for once, are not finding ourselves in the Chantry. We are finding us after a busy day of work. The trio of mages are on their way back from the. For some reason, there's a Pisky here, which shouldn't be the case. But the three mages are together driving home after having been together at work at the esteemed Hermetic Nauticus little company. You're all coming home from work now, and the things are starting off interestingly because I want all of you to roll perception plus awareness, please, while you're just driving home.
Which of us can drive?
I don't. I presume someone. I presume there's a driver.
Can Alec drive?
Can Alex
I can
drive?
drive.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Alec
he's
drives.
driving.
I thought either that or there was a private chauffeur involved.
I mean, yeah, that could have happened. Or Subway, which is a thing.
It's probably more on the line of Nausicaa said, "Here, let me grab like the company car," and I said, "Fuck the chauffeur, I'm hopping in the front seat." And
Cool.
I protest.
Just perception awareness and the.
You can be the chauffeur.
I will look at the mage dice roller now, and greatness will happen.
Perception, what? Alertness?
Awareness.
Awareness. I'm very aware of this situation, people.
I have only one success, but it is a success.
It is a success, and that in life, that's all that matters.
I actually only have one as well.
We are so great.
2 successes.
So I am the boss.
Yeah, and you're the one driving, so this is more pertinent to you. As you're driving, because you don't necessarily want the technocracy after you. You're probably taking some quieter streets, some smaller side streets, just try to what's it called, residential areas of the town city. You're driving, and then suddenly all of you will feel a strange surge of energy and a sort of pull towards an alleyway right as you're driving, coming up as you're driving. And it's almost, in the case of Alec, the ever vigilant driver, it's almost like he wants to swing in just to see. It's like a magnetic pull of sorts. You just feel there's some wooginess going on.
Hey, Nazca, is there such a thing as left gravity?
I mean, theoretically, but I'm assuming you also felt that.
I mean, I guess you could say that.
Ava?
Yes.
That was strange. We should take a look.
Do you want me to pull over?
Yes, driver.
Don't ever call me driver.
Okay,
I will
driver.
turn this vehicle around, ma'am. Little girl. Don't make me go back home.
Nausicaa's just give him a deadpan look.
He looks at her with another deadpan look like, mm-mm. Trying to give Nausicaa his best sass.
Does he pull over?
Yes.
Okay, then it's fine.
So, pulling over, you can park right by the alley, and get out and see whatever strange thing is going on. And it's the stereotypical New York alley. There's trash cans that are just metal and completely impractical. Some of them are bulky. There's a little bit too much garbage here because shut down. There's nobody picking up the garbage.
New York alleyway. Are there any Nosferatu digging around in the dumpster?
No, but what is at the end of the alleyway, you are going to see a small swirling green portal-like thing, and yes, and you can. There's no there's no other people in the nearby area. It's deserted, but you won't. You can all notice there are a few birds sitting around, and a cat. They don't seem to notice this. So, for your eyes only so far.
Do I roll my curiosity?
You can roll your curiosity for sure. See if you have to go and check this.
Alec will say to look at Ava. Would this be a bad time to ask if you want to watch? What do you fucking call it? Shit, what's that old movie? Ghostbusters. Is this a bad time to ask if you want to watch Ghostbusters later?
Carl, what's the difficulty for my curiosity roll? Because it's determined by an ST usually.
You just go for a difficulty 7 here.
Then I fail.
Oh, you have to go and check this closer.
So I was just going to simply ignore Alec and is just gonna walk up to this thing. So, Nausicaa, do you have any idea what this is? She's walking up to it, hand sort of outstretched as if she wants to touch it.
Nausicaa has pulled her wand out, and she'll kind of hurry after Ava and be like, "We should see what it is first before we touch it. Scientific process."
Scientific
Alex
process.
will just cock his head to the side, like, can I fly a drone into it?
As you all are looking at this thing, a red creature is going to fall out of it, fall flat on its face, along with several pieces of metal, and it's going to flail on the ground. It's basically like 4 feet tall. Seems to be the case. Slightly lizard-like. It has 3 eyes, but all of them are purple. Just flail about. There's a tail. It has a tiny jumpsuit on, and
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
and there's like it has like a utility belt, and it just like
What the hell? No, she goes, "What is that?" And she will take her wand out and point it at it.
Alex is going to run up and give it a hug.
Ava is going to kneel down next to it and examine if it's hurt.
Okay. This is going to be a high difficult perception medicine roll. Please roll perception medicine. Difficulty is
I'm
8.
trying to see. I don't have medicine. Is there something?
Okay, then you could then you're not actually going to be able to determine if
I know. I was hoping if I could use like enigmas or cosmology or pharmacopoeia or like anything.
Rather than doing that, do you have empathy?
Uh-huh.
Could you just roll that perception empathy?
Sure. That is a great amount of 5 dice. I got 2 10s.
2 10s. Excellent. Well, the thing doesn't seem hurt at all. It seems very confused, however. It's going to eventually be able to unroll itself. Is Alex trying to hug this?
I want to hug it.
Do you want to hug it, or are you actually hugging it?
I am hugging it.
You are hugging it.
It's so cute. I'm lifting it up in the air.
Well, you by all means try to hug it. It's going to try and like push, like.
It's so cute.
Nausicaa's giving Alec a look like he's the weirdest thing in the room right now for just hugging the alien creature.
Meanwhile, that's going on. The green portal thing. It doesn't actually close, but it seems to be unstably flickering, and then it.
Okay, I'm gonna touch it.
Okay.
Am I dead?
You are not dead. However, you do feel a strange, like pulsating energy flow through you, and you just see, like, you get a very like a glimpse of just a lot of burning and silence. It's very foreboding, but you have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
Your mind is just filled with that vision, and then suddenly the portal thing just rips itself apart, and the green specks flies into the sides of the building. And then just evaporate.
I did have my curiosity flaw failing at that thing, so I needed to touch it at some point.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alec is free to look at Nausicaa with the most puppy dog eyes a human being can muster and say, "Can I keep it? I want it. I want it. I want it."
You're an idiot. Take some responsibility for yourself. If you want to be a tradition mage, you can't act like a goddamn child.
It's going to push itself.
We need to quarantine this area of some kind.
It's going to push itself out of Alex's hands, land on its little stubby feet. It's going to look around. It's going to examine its utility belt and the pieces of metal that fell onto the ground. With it, it's going to just scoop stuff up, grab it, and put something over its mouth, like a metal like filter thing, and be like.
It looks sort of sentient, like. Hello. Would you understand us? Clearly not.
It holds up a finger.
Ooh.
It pushes a few buttons on its belt, and since you all succeeded on the perception awareness, you feel another like slightly weird surge of energy, and it speaks, but it speaks in a very bad form of English. Like it's very broken. It's very broken English.
So like Robbie.
That's fine. I have languages as a merit, and I have the
Yes,
other
it's
thing as well.
it
Natural
just goes
language.
in like hello strangers. It's very like it's almost like it's buffering as it speaks.
Can
Um,
I keep you?
Go away is its seeming response to that.
hello. Who are you? Do you have a name?
I don't. It's going to ramble off. It doesn't become intelligible sounds, but eventually, like the buffer, whatever it's using to translate, will eventually come with designated drone 123, and it's
Drone? Are you a robot?
it shakes its head, sort of, and it shows that its limbs are living about, living
Mm-hmm.
flesh. Its red arms, just its flayed fingers. Uh,
Ava, ask him where he's from and what he's doing here.
You can ask him that yourself, but fine. Where are you from?
Once again, it's going to rattle off. This time, it's numbers, which is much more Ava's coordinates. It's listing off Ava's, not Ava, I mean Noska's territory.
Mm-hmm.
It's listing off coordinates rather than an actual place name.
I got this. I'm gonna plug it into my laptop. I'm gonna open up my laptop and do a program over Earth, like kind of Google Maps ish, and I'm gonna plug in the numbers.
Google Earth does not find the coordinates because it seems to be more than it's space coordinates, not
Oh,
Okay.
Earth.
Then I will go to NASA's space ecology and plug in there.
Yeah, it's not that hard, but it seems to be from somewhere outside of the solar system between this and our most immediate neighbor one. I'm not good with names, so I don't remember it, but it seems to be from somewhere outside the local solar system.
Alec will show Nazca the laptop and go, "This is gonna get interesting."
This does not seem possible.
It's going to jump up and flail, and it eventually machinery is going to convey that it was a part of a very, very big battle, and then the silence came, and then it's here.
What silence?
It's it just shakes its head very much at that. While that's going on, does any of you have? You don't need medicine for this, but just in general, you're going to notice that small sores are going to start growing on its arms and on its head. Like just like small sores are going to start opening up because this shouldn't be here.
Oh,
Does
boy.
it look like it's in pain with them?
It doesn't seem. It seems to be too bewildered to notice this, but the sores are opening up. Which I mean, some of you should would be able to like know both in character and out of character that it's very pertinent why these sores are opening. It shouldn't be here.
This environment is not. He's not adapted to this environment. He or it. We should take it back somewhere. Not the Chantry, though.
Yeah, where? How? Can't we just send it back to its place? Do we?
Can we send you back? Where do you need to go?
It once again flails and starts talk once again the translation that whatever translation equipment this thing has seems to be extremely basic, but what it conveys is very simple, that there is no going back, all gone, silence, death, destruction.
Okay, shit.
It was horrible things.
We can take him to my apartment in Manhattan.
To
We
my
can keep him
apartment.
there.
Okay, but that won't stop that. As she points at the source and everything. Is it our atmosphere that's not right for him? Is there a way we
Most
can
likely.
adapt it?
I'm not a biologist, but
Neither am I.
it's likely that if he's not adapted to the environment, then yes, the simple chemical compounds of our atmosphere may be harmful to him. We may be able to do something in a more private area.
I can maybe change the particles in the air if you give me enough time.
Well, it's not about what we give you. It's about how long he can hold on. But you're right,
Hey.
Nazca. Let's first go to your
Hey,
apartment.
If you can write down what chemicals you need to be able to survive, I can potentially help you, bro. Just
Journeyman
yeah.
in the element in the sphere of forces. I believe I should be able to do something. But if not,
well,
is forces not matter?
It's a bit of both.
I suppose yeah, it was like particles. It could be both. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like yeah. Anyway, so it's going to just flail about. It's now going to start noticing the source, and it's going to panic. It's going to scrounge up the pieces of metal laying on the ground that seem very strange and futuristic, and it's going to rush, just panic rush towards the exit of the alley, which is where the car is.
Oh boy!
I am going.
This thing can't run for shit though.
I'm going to run to tackle it.
I think all of us are going to. I mean, Ava's taking off her jacket because she's hoping that maybe she can protect him from whatever atmosphere they're in.
Can I roll to Dex Brawl?
You can roll Dex Brawl.
I am going to roll first a practice roll.
I'm just taking off my jacket.
What did you roll?
I'm doing a forces effect to essentially telekinesis him so he can't run away. I only have one success.
There's only one success, but
I'll roll again. Difficulty will be +1.
Oh, there we go. I got 2 successes.
Yeah, like as I said, this thing is not in a position to fight. It's at this point clearly wounded, and it's just reacting to pain and this. So both you can tackle it, stop it from it falls pitifully on the ground, and you can telekinetically grab it now.
I'm just gonna dive and grab its legs.
Yeah, it's very stubby, short legs and gonna fall over.
So yeah, Nausicaa's essentially gonna limit gravity around it, so we can more easily maneuver it.
Yeah.
Get it into the vehicle. We'll take it to my apartment, and we can work out something from there. Alex,
Okay.
Apologies, I have 1 second. Alex, if you're able to run some kind of program and analyze the material that it has with it, the metals, we may be able to extrapolate what kind of, if it's carbon based or what kind of levels of, what kind of chemicals are common where it's from, and we may be able to deduce what kind of atmosphere we need to create for it.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems an intelligence creature.
Hey, Ava, are you able to drive? Do you know how?
No, and just it's one moment as Ava will take the coat, will wrap it around the creature so that the will have at limited contact with skin on atmosphere, and she'll just ask, "Do you know what your air is made of at your home?"
It's going to start ladding off once again, but it seems to be significantly more methane than is in the atmosphere currently.
Oh,
there you go.
Nazca, for right now, I need you just to fart in his air control containment for a little bit while I figure this out.
Do you enjoy making stupid comments in important
Let's
situations?
just drive so that we can.
This is a pretty stupid situation to begin with, so I think it's warranted.
Ava will turn to the creatures okay, we're going to try and help you. We will need to go to a different place as here.
But yes, I will drive out of here.
Yeah. So, it's going to meekly submit in the vehicle. It's going to hide like behind the seats, like on the foot area, because apparently it has enough common sense to not be in the windows. And it's going to just curl up there.
Alpha's coat is wrapped around it anyway, so.
Yeah, double bonus.
Hmm.
So yeah, you can drive. It's to Nausicaa's apartment, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so she owns in she has like she has like a penthouse apartment in Madison 1 that she
Cool.
had really early on.
Well, cool. So you can get to you get in there without issue. The coat will make you able to pass this thing into the building without too much of a fuss.
We have mind magic for that in case it needs.
Yeah, it's thankfully it's not needed. It's but in general that would have been an issue. But yeah, you get it inside, get it up into the apartment. The source seems to it seems to have slowed down in the development. It's just like a very horrific sort of rash along its arms and behind its very long, bobbly sort of neck. It's just gonna find somewhere. It's going to just flail inside of the room. But it seems to be doing much better when it's in a confined space as opposed to just in the open air.
On the way there, Nausicaa's just going to say, under her breath around Ava, simply asking it. Interesting.
What do you mean? It makes sense.
No, you're right. I just didn't think of it.
It has a translator, a
Yeah.
universal translator. It must be intelligent. It is intelligent. So asking it is not out of. I mean, it comes from space.
Well, we don't know that.
We can assume that.
Either way, what do we want to do with it now it's here?
Try and find a way to. I don't know. See what it wants.
Could you ask it its name, if it has one?
I
It
tried.
may-
It gave some sort of a designation, but I couldn't really make anything out of it. I mean, I could try and study his language if he's willing to teach me.
It's biting its own nails, sitting on the sofa.
Would it like something to drink or eat?
Hydration is good. Hydration is good as long as it can get water. It's fine. It's just come from a big battle, and it's thirsty. So that's its immediate response to that request.
So we'll get him a cup or a bowl. Probably Ava will get both.
Indeed, and it's going to drink water like it's nobody's business.
Ava, that is Manhattan tap water. It's. Well, I hope it's not too poisonous.
It seems to do fine with the Manhattan tap water. It seems to greatly enjoy it, in fact. And it's then going to, because it's been clutching in its arms all of these metal pieces, it's just going to let them, put them on the nearest table and just twist them. And it seems to be pieces of machinery, just not just metal. It was hard to see as it was just laying on the ground and stuff. It just seems to sort them.
Interesting.
Do you want me to try seeing in the past?
Do you think that would help?
I mean, I think we need information. I mean, we can just ask him a load of questions, but he seems to be rather confused as to where he is. So I'm not quite sure if he can give us the answer as to how he got here and what we need to do right now.
Maybe you could access his previous memories. I am not sure if Ars Mentis would work on this creature, though. But you can only try.
I was more thinking about the dream thing on the metal.
Interesting. Sure. I can make sure it doesn't do anything bad.
I mean, I don't think it necessarily. She will turn to the lizard thing. So, Can you tell us what happened actually?
Uh,
Besides the death and then the sort of, do you know how this was caused?
it points to the one of the dongly things on its belt that it turned on the translator, being like damaged translator device. It's going
Oh,
to not, but it will try. Uh, great war, far away, chaos, fire, and then not fire, and change and unchange, chaos, order, destruction. Um emergency dimensional shift, suddenly here, silence, all the silence.
I see. So, if I were to loosely translate this into a story, I'd say, well, there was a terrible war, and did all of your people die? She'll ask
H
the,
H shrugs.
you don't know.
The hive fell apart. Reasonable conclusion, death. uh, Shrugs.
Oh, you have a hive mind?
Had
In
would
your, oh, that is cool. I mean, not, okay, so either, so did the silence come before you came to this place or after?
before silence, just waves.
Oh,
War, big battle.
mhm.
Everyone fought. uh, Dark ones, strange ones from like you, big ships, Kaluan, Sig Ragnar, Tretnol, all things fight. Then suddenly silence, and then fire, and then nothing, ripping everything pieces. Emergency shift here.
Wait, people like us? You were fighting people like us?
Everyone fought.
But there were things like us there.
Things like you, dark things like you, machine things like you spread chaos, crystal, living crystal. On the Kaluan, it points to. If is there anything gray in the room?
Nausicaa.
Almost certainly.
Yeah,
Gray.
yeah. It's just going to point to the gray, like the most bland gray thing. Probably it's probably the walls. Going to point at them, point at itself, and indicate taller, gray, tall,
Oh,
fort.
okay.
Fascinating.
Hmm.
Gray, like us. I'm not saying it's the
No,
unit,
but yeah,
but it doesn't sound dissimilar.
yeah, I agree. Well, okay. So, do you want to go back? She'll ask the lizard.
You just no,
No.
no.
Would
Silence.
you would you
All-consuming silence would destroy everything.
would you want to stay here then?
It just flails. There's no
You don't
home. There's no home left.
know.
Uh, Drone comes from planetoid. Planetoid be destroyed, ripped apart by anti-sound, silence, ripping it apart, ripping ships apart, people apart,
Okay.
your kind of people apart, Kowloon apart, Sig Ragnar apart, uh, all sorts of things ripped apart in never-ending silence. You know,
Nausicaa has a kind of worried look on her face.
I think Nausicaa, if you can work on perhaps creating a suitable environment, then I
Open
can
the
try and
potential.
figure out better what happened.
So it said it needs methane in the atmosphere, correct?
Uh-huh.
I mean, the most logical thing was, and she thinks, I'll buy some things for it.
Can't you? Oh, I don't know, but can't you make like some clothing that might shield it in like a hull of atmosphere that's appropriate for him,
I
like a
mean,
cat suit?
I can't just make it. I could buy it.
I mean, yeah.
Sure, we could get some kind of hazmat suit sealed, and then we can buy pressurized oxygen and methane, and he can, I guess he can mix it however he wants if he's got the components necessary. I'm not actually super knowledgeable about alien biology.
It's going to nod a few times and then point to its as because it seems to have been sort of trying to follow the conversation. It's going to point to its equipment, being like, was atmospheric drone worker can help set up suitable uh, living space. It seems to struggle, or it's not as much it as the machine seems to be struggling because it's already seems to be talking about something else. It's like watching a very badly dubbed movie where you see it talking and the machine seems to be like.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We can try. The only thing is, you can't leave here. There are other people in the city, like us, who would not be understanding. It would be bad if you were seen. Also, we must have something to call you.
Drone 123.
Hmm.
Designated drone. It nods. Didi? Didi works.
TD. That works. I'll call the others and let them know, but the more information you can give us about, the better we can help. Also, if you're not from this planet, this may be the first human contact with extraterrestrials, Ava. Which means,
I mean,
well,
are you sure? Is there already people like us fighting in their war?
well,
No.
fine.
Not us fighting, not you fighting our war. We fight in your war.
Oh boy. Even worse.
Wait, you know who we are? You're fighting us?
No.
No,
Everyone fights. Humans.
there's just one big war, and they fought in it, but also our kind, like humans, fought in it.
Humans fight. Humans, yes.
You are aware of humanity.
Sort of. I'm not. People are. I work with sanitation and atmospheric pressure and filters.
You worked on a spaceship.
Yes.
Some kind of vehicle that travels in the void.
Yes.
Fascinating.
And there was the Union, Human Union, and then the tradition humans and the dark humans and the mad humans who turn into crystal and dragons and gusts of wind and things. And there was the Tretnol humans, and then there was the other things.
Lucas is just like, Ava, he is describing the awakened.
I am so not surprised, but I am, and I'm not at the same time. It's weird.
We should tell the others. I'll buy the necessary preparations, but this is strange, to say the least.
Yeah.
Do you think you can be traced here or followed?
Ship components destroyed. The rest of the species likely dead. And most of my equipment is damaged and it wasn't transponder worthy in the first place.
Could I take a look at it?
It flails, letting you go. Flailing seems to just be a very common gesture here. Like it's just like shoves it towards you so you can go and look at it.
And it doesn't seem overly emotional that its species may have been wiped out.
No, it does not. Which is a strange thing.
So what I'm going to do is, the first thing she's going to do is she's going to go to the fridge and she will have an energy drink, and she uses that as an instrument to essentially increase her mental capabilities with Mind 1.
This is perfectly reasonable.
So I'm assuming that if I'm going to look at alien technology, I need superhuman intelligence. So can I?
Yes. Can you test? The connection seems to be a bit bad.
Yeah, I think I muted by accident.
Okay. You just roll for mind.
So yeah, I'll just roll RT. I don't actually, when I do the energy drink, I don't have a practice roll to go with it, so I just will roll that. That is 3 successes.
That's
so
3 successes.
My intelligence will increase by 3. I will actually do a second addition to it because I want it to last for a while.
That's a good thing about but M20. You can do 2 rolls and they can count for the set.
Yeah. So I will increase my intelligence by 4 for the scene. So Nautica's intelligence 8 now. For the purposes of this, Ava, she's basically gonna like zone in on this stuff and start like writing down. In fact, she'll almost like start. Actually, yeah, because you can not only increase your stats, you can compartmentalize your mental abilities.
Yeah.
So she'll like be writing with 2 hands, and like I'm gonna say that while she's intelligence 8, it's like human like it's almost like autism on the next level. You know what I mean? Like human interaction becomes like
not a thing. That's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Could you roll me your new intelligence plus technology first? Absolutely. And then
we got technology. I don't think technology is a mage stat. I have science.
Yes, it is a mage stat. It's a skill.
Oh, I do. Yes.
At level 3.
Yep, I have 3 in it. Okay, so that will be 11 dice.
11 dice.
Nice.
Yep, that is.
You have. Yes, you have. Because it was like, it would be difficulty. It would be, wouldn't be difficult. It would be difficult to 6 feet your current intelligence level. Anyway, so I'm going to explain your results in a bit. You're very busy examining all of this very strange stuff. What is Ava doing in the meantime? Because the DD seems to not really pay attention to Noska looking through all of its stuff.
Learn its language. Learn an alien language.
That's. I'm like, learn an alien language, create a hive mind with this thing, get the vision of its past. It's like I want to do all these 3 things.
You want to examine its mind with mind tree. Deep dive. By all means, go for it. Since I seem to recall in M20, the difficulty is the creature's willpower when you're doing in mind with its directly.
I mean, she would ask if he's okay with it at first.
Yeah, fine. It does not seem to have it doesn't seem to understand the question.
Okay.
Because hive mind, so privacy isn't.
New
true. Concept. It's very new concept here. So just roll Arate. Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're doing mind tree here because you're doing a deep dive.
Yes. Got a 10 and an 8.
Can you? Okay. You're going to dive deep into its most recent memories first, I presume.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Can you roll me willpower? Difficulty 9.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sure. That's a botch.
That's a botch. You pass out. It's horrific. Like the only thing you see is fire and nothingness. The silence. You can't describe it as anti-sound. Is really the best description of what you experience. You experience the complete, not the absence of sound, the absorption of sound, and you just fall over. You could froth a little too if you want to. And you take 6 bashing damage, mental bashing.
So yeah, I'll just bunk goes down.
And unfortunately, Nausicaa is not necessarily in a position to
Nope.
be able to notice that.
Yeah, Nausicaa is like so zoned in. Like she'll actually be using her wand to like around her she'll have like mathematical kind of like symbols like glowing in the air as she like basically she's just going absolutely crazy. And like yeah, I just feel like the mundanities of like people's consciousness is almost like kind of below her attention right now as she like
Yeah.
looks into this alien technology. But yeah.
Well, yeah, Nausicaa, you get an amazing trip of looking at alien tech. It seems to have brought with it a few items, some kind of weapon device, like some kind of blaster, but it seems to not work. It seems to gather up kinetic force and then shoot it out, and it somehow turns into heat, and so it just shoots. It sucks in kinetic force and transfers it to heat, which shouldn't be that strange for a forces mage to understand.
I mean, yeah, a scientific forces mage as well.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
scientific. It's that weird. The other thing it has with it, it's some kind of like atmosphere regulator. So you can just like put it. It's almost like it's like if you put it together properly and repair it, it's almost like a parasol, a mini parasol. And from it, it will like exude air particles to stabilize the atmosphere. And the last thing is the last item on the list is the weirdest one because it seems like you can't test it because it doesn't work. But it seems the entire production of that item seems to be turning shadow into biotic material, like darkness.
What?
Yeah. Sucks out the absence of light and turns it into flesh somehow.
Nausicaa is, yeah, I mean, like, I think it's a case of, like, she understands it on, like, a scientific level, but on a conceptual level...
The conceptual level is just so weird.
Yeah. She's just like... Yeah, and I guess after doing this for a while, I'll essentially let the thing lapse, and she'll go back to normal.
Yeah.
And she'll look around.
And meanwhile, the creature has put a pillow under under poor Ava's face, and she's patted her. Now, Ava, it's probably past like an hour, and Ava gets to wake up. She is going to see Didi is drinking shampoo.
Ew. Okay.
From the bottle. It just had like a...
If it likes that, it's fine with me. Yeah, Ava is looking at that sort of, that's the first thing you see when you get your consciousness back. Is like just staring at that for a while.
She's seeing a 4-foot-tall red alien thing drinking shampoo. It's going to just look at her.
Nausicaa's going to look up and just be like, Ava, now is not a time to sleep. You shouldn't be drinking that. I thought you were paying attention.
Yes, Nausicaa, sorry. Let me try this again.
Nausicaa will cock her head. Are you okay?
Fine. I'm fine.
Have you been staying up reading again?
Sort of.
Nausicaa's gonna go over and just like take the shampoo from him. This is not food. This is not good. What would you like to eat?
Biotic material is not eating is give biotic materials. It just says that. It doesn't seem to have a complete understanding of the concept of food.
Nausicaa's gonna open her phone and say, Louis? Yeah. My apartment? 3. With everything on it. Yes, everything.
Oh no.
Yes. Thank you. Nausicaa owns a small pizza restaurant where she's insisted the menu has a pizza that has everything on it that actually has everything on it. And
everything you could possibly think of dumping on a pizza.
And yeah, I mean, that'll arrive in... it's actually not far away because that's near Wall Street and the
Of course, she has a pizza restaurant near Wall Street. Yeah, it's gonna arrive soon enough, and there's gonna be 3 pizzas with everything on it.
I got
And
your
I mean everything. Yeah, there's banana on it, and cornflakes on one of the other ones, just because. It's going to start numbing some of the pizza pieces, and just like it doesn't really seem to like eat like taste. It's just like.
Nothing's going to teach it the New York way of eating a pizza slice, where you like fold it, and she's literally going to like show him how to eat it, and she'll sit there eating this like pizza, and she'll be like, "Oh, I got one for you. It's good."
Great. I'm just gonna try what I tried before.
So, are you trying to examine the same memories?
Trying to go further back.
Further back, okay, just roll for it. I would.
Why the fuck not? I'm
It's,
curious
I
about
would.
how to go.
I'm wondering. Yeah, I was going to say that you might have to roll curiosity for, but since you're actually
Yeah.
just going to indulge in it, go for it.
7, a 6, and a 10.
Yeah. What you now do as you're trying to not dig into the memories like immediately leading up to this is that as you're delving through its mind, it's sort of like you can almost feel it's like a section of the memory that you can't enter without immense pain to yourself. Which just with mind magic you can't entirely understand why, but you can go further back and you can see that like life on a very it's not a ship as you would understand it, because instead of being out of metal, it seems to be made out of living like chitinous shells and flesh and crystal flowing through space, and everyone is like it lives like it. You can even see some of its earliest memories as a sort of like a grub larva thing, and then it's now running around. You also get to experience what it's like having millions of other minds connected to you on an intrinsic level. You can just like feel everything.
That's
And
not slightly insane.
Oh yeah, it's certainly something. Due to your own human mind's limitations, you can only academically grasp that for the most part. Because if you try to fully understand the experience, you would go insane because your mind isn't
Quite
like
possibly.
you kind of need the ninth sphere to like enhance your mind before trying to grasp that.
Yeah, no.
But it seems to be most of the like memories is like it lived like on like on a planetoid, like a floating planetoid ship thing that could break itself apart into lesser ships, and its work was to just keep the atmosphere stable. And then and then they were dragged into a war. You see first a war with other creatures like orange other aliens, like they're big that seems to not have any face, called the Seg. And then there's like grays, like you would imagine, like human grays, called Kaluan, who also fights. And then you see what did they just thought of as the Dark Ones, unleashing horrific monstrosities and hellfire and stuff, and you saw demons in space and stuff, and then suddenly everyone gets dragged into a big final battle. And then you come to the section of the memories where you can't look at it. Whatever happens in that battle it burned the mind of this creature, among other things.
I'm gonna get my curiosity.
Roll your curiosity. Yeah, difficulty for this would be 8. So
I have 2 8s.
Yes.
Fuck. In all honesty, out of character, I really want to try that.
but you do remember having your mind almost ripped apart. So you don't you manage to resist your curiosity to not do it. Nausicaa, on the other hand, she is teaching Didi how to eat pizza New York way, but it doesn't like. You can imagine, you can observe it eating. It doesn't actually chew. It's almost like it's just sucking it in, and then liquefying it as it's eating it, based on the sounds. So it's eaten up that pizza very quickly. Yeah. So I think we can take a pause. We can pause the scene here due to schedules and stuff. Since
people in next time.
Yes, we will have more people for this next time. Thank you, player. Thank you, watchers, for eventually potentially watching this. And have a good one.
And thank you, New ST, for this. Or narrator. It's exciting.
Excellent.